Everything looks better covered in mud in my opinion. Like it. This might end very badly. This has got to be one of my favourite RC four-wheel drive releases to date. We've got the brand new 1982 Toyota pickup, and this thing just looks absolutely fantastic. The body is just amazing. You've got to give it to RC four-wheel drive. Their bodies are just absolutely awesome. Let's check this thing out. So first off, we've got to talk about this absolutely awesome body, the 1982 Toyota pickup with that awesome retro livery. I just think this thing looks fantastic. You know, it's packed full of scale details. You've got all your side markers. You've got a little built-in antenna, which is just super cool. You've got mirrors. You've got door handles. You've got a full rear bed on the back as well. You've got all your Toyota badges on there, your rear lights. You got that lovely chrome grille, your chrome bumper, you got your lights, your Toyota badges. You've actually got a really nice scale interior in there as well. So wheels and tyres, you get these really nice stamped seal 1.7-inch scale wheels. And then you've got these BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tyres, again 1.7-inch. These are really nice looking scale tyres. Really nice scale tread pattern on them. You can see they are dirty because I have already ran this thing, so it is a little scratched and everything already because, you know, it's an old Toyota. It's got to get a few scratches on it in my opinion. So the bonnet actually opens as well on this, and under the bonnet you've got that Yota 22R engine bay, full dress-up kit. The scale details on this engine bay are just absolutely fantastic. You got your battery, your water bottle in there, you got your brake servo and everything. You know, that just looks absolutely awesome. I love that engine bay. So much detail in there, so nice. You also get the Marlin V2 plastic sliders on there as well. And before we pop the body off and have a look at the chassis, I'll just talk you through what else comes in the box. You also get included in the box the Marlin V2 front winch bumper and the rear plastic tube bumper. If you want to stick those on as well, you can do. You also get a nice bag of goodies, which includes all like spare screws. You get a spare steering link. You also get the additional leaf springs if you do want to tune the suspension or anything like that. One thing I do like about the RC four-wheel drive rigs is they're one of the very few rigs that come 100% ready to run. So you get a 3000 mAh nickel hydride battery. You also actually get these really cool RC four-wheel drive AA batteries for your transmitter, which I never use these just because I love the fact that they got the RC four-wheel drive sticker on them, so I just keep them. They're like collectibles for me. And then it also includes your mains adapter, and you actually get 3 different plug adapters, so depending what region you're in, you've got adapters for the actual charger. As you can see, they use an XT60 connector as well, so you could use a different like LiPo battery if you wanted to. I actually run mine with a 2S LiPo battery. You get your instruction manual. What I think is really cool as well is you get this really nice big sticker sheet. You can see you've got lots of different stickers there. You've got extra livery stickers. You've got like BF Goodrich stickers on there, RC four-wheel drive stickers. You've got really nice Toyota stickers. You've even got like flags for the rear window. So yeah, I just think that's really cool. You also get the XR3 3-channel transmitter. This is a big old chunky transmitter, to be fair. It does have all your like, you know, your usual trim adjustments and everything on it. For me, it's a little bit too big, mainly because I drive one-handed. So I normally switch to a different transmitter for most of my rigs, just because I find it easier to use something that's a bit smaller. But yeah, that's my only kind of complaint really, is just it's a bit big, to be honest. So when it comes out of the box, the body and the chassis are separate, so you do mount the body on there, but it's really easy to do. You've basically just got these 2 screws on either side, so I'm just going to get those off, we'll get the body off, and then let's take a look at the chassis. So on the chassis, electronics-wise, you've got the Outcry 3 waterproof ESC, you've got a 540 45-turn brush motor, you've got the Twister high torque metal gear steering servo, and then just in the back under here is the receiver in the receiver box. So it does include the battery straps as well, you just got to fit them yourself. You've got obviously a connector for the LED lights, because it does have LED lights on the front and the rear, as well as the side markers. You do also get in the box these inner arch liners, but you do need to fit them yourself. They do a really nice job of just kind of like hiding the inside of the chassis and the wiring and stuff when you've got the body on there. Got their Yota 2 Ultimate Scale axle, which feature the XVD shafts. They've got their scale shocks with the new X-ring technology to stop them from leaking and stuff like that, so they're much better as well. This chassis actually features under axle leaf springs, but what's nice about these ones is they've changed the leaf spring mounting system So you can actually switch between under axle or over axle without having to flip the axle, so they've made it more versatile. You got your R3 single speed transmission and then your hammer transfer case. And obviously having the leaf springs under axle means it does sit lower, so they kind of got that more of that street look instead of the lifted 4x4 look when the leaf springs are on top of the axle. Suspension wise, I'm not a massive fan of leaf springs, to be fair, but I was actually quite impressed with the movement on these ones. I did actually remove the smaller leaf spring, so I was just running basically a single leaf spring on the front and the rear. And then another thing I did as well, out of the box you actually get the helper springs and the shock absorbers on the front, but they're really stiff, so there was hardly any suspension movement on the front, so I actually removed those as well. You can just leave them out, but what I actually did is I had some of the helper springs left over from my K10, so I actually put those in there instead, and I actually felt like it gave it a bit of nicer suspension movement. Got some decent scale flex on this rig. Like I said, I've already ran it. You can see from all the dirt on the tyres and everything, all the scratches on there. You'll see when we get to the running footage, when it's moving, I actually really like the kind of suspension movement, especially on the rear. I think it was some nice flex on there. So I've just chucked the battery in so we can check out those LED lights. So you've got the front LED headlights. You can also see you've got really nice side markers on there as well. And then you've got your tail lights on the rear as well. Your steering servo's actually got loads of power in it. You can see it's nice and responsive as well. If I just lift it up, you've got plenty of steering angle, and yeah, it's got loads of power in it. I didn't have any issues with it on the trail with it jamming up or getting stuck or anything like that, so that was really good. I mean, if you're a Toyota fan, then this is the rig for you, because I absolutely love this body. I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. We'll get to the running footage in a minute so you can see what it ran like. I ran it on the trail and on the rocks, and I think it performed really well. I would say these tyres aren't as good as the tyres on the K10. I'm not a fan of the rubber mirrors. I prefer some kind of solid mirrors. The other thing with finding these ones is they tend to move a little bit as well. But that's a minor gripe. Ooh, one other thing I've got to mention as well, which I really liked on this, which I'm not fussed on the K10, is you no longer have the clearance issues between the axle and the steering servo horn. So on the K10, the axle would always hit the servo horn, and it would really kind of limit your suspension movement, I found. Whereas now, with the way they got it set up here, it doesn't touch the steering servo horn at all. So I really like that as a nice little change to what it was like on the K10. Now, I wouldn't say it's waterproof because obviously that receiver box isn't sealed and that power switch is kind of exposed on the bottom, but we've got to run it through some water because it's just going to look super cool. Nice, I like that rear wheel movement. It does look like one super cool truck, doesn't it? I think that looks pretty cool, to be fair. You can see the front is still a little bit stiff, but I like the flex we've got on the rear and the kind of movement we've got. I think it does look, pretty realistic, to be fair. I want to try and see how well it can do it without having to do loads of throttle. See what the grip's like on these tyres.
struggling it. We're going to have to give it some wheel speed, I think. Yay, made it. Oh. Hey, made it. I mean, that is super steep, look. You can see that's what we've just come up. So it is really, really steep. But yeah, I think the tyres on the K10 definitely did better than these ones. Okay, let's see what our trail speed is like. That's not bad. You can see it's not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, it's got a decent walking pace on it. We got to do the old root test, haven't we? So let's see what these tyres are like on the roots. They are a bit kind of coated in mud at the moment, but hopefully they'll get. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Oh, those side rails hanging us up a little bit there. And probably that center point with the transfer case because it's really low. You might have to hop it. Oh, that's right on that transfer case. Let's try a slightly different angle. Nah, you can't see, but that transfer case is kind of the lowest point and it's gonna hang you up on some things. You know, we should be able to get over that, to be honest. Mini crawlers can get over that, so, you know. But it's just getting hung up in it. Let's see if we can do a slightly different angle and kind of just give it a bit of throttle. Oh, I did it, but didn't sound very happy, did it? We got some mud for the Toyota to go through. We haven't got a lot because obviously it's, you know, summertime, but you know, if we find a little bit of mud, we've got to take it through, haven't we? Nice. Let's get it in the sticky stuff. Everything looks better covered in mud in my opinion. That's what I like it. Nice. Now that looks cool. Give it a try out on some rocks and see how it performs. I really want to see how these tyres do on the rocks as well. Oh, some nice ground clearance issues there with the rear. Oh, binned it. The tyre was folding over a little bit there on the rear. Yay, made it, okay. Nice. Slow speed control is not the best, but yeah, that's alright. Oh. Definite ground clearance issues. We made it. Oh, some lovely noises there. Right, let's see if we can get up here. I'd be amazed if it gets up here. This is very, very steep. This might end very badly. Oh. Oh. Need some bite on those tyres. Oh. Let's try again. Surprised it's not tipping over though, to be fair. Look. Look at the angle on that, that's quite steep. Oh, yes, go on. Oh, again, hung up on that centre point again. Oh, so close. so close to being up there, look, it's just getting hung up on that centre point. Yay, made it. Yeah, you can definitely see that lowest point there that catches you up on quite a bit. I believe you can do a mod to raise the centre box up, the transfer case, so that, you know, you get a bit more ground clearance. You can see how much lower that is than the rest of it. That is quite a hindrance, but I'm glad we got up there. And to be fair, being a hard body, just made up there, that's pretty cool. Well chuffed with that. It's no longer a nice shiny Toyota pickup anymore. Look, we got our first scuffs there from trying to get it up on the rocks, but I prefer the weathered truck anyway. You know, we're just naturally weathering it now, so yeah.
No, I was really impressed with this rig. When I ran up the rocks, I was actually quite impressed with the scale movement, even with the leaf springs. You know, I had no issues running it. The slow speed control on the stock ESC was actually pretty decent. You know, I like the LED lights and everything on it. I love the body. The body is the highlight for me. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And to be fair, when I ran my K10, I was kind of probably moaning a bit about the leaf springs, and I wasn't so fussed on the suspension movement because I'm more of a kind of like, I love a bit of flex on my kind of shocks on my forelinks and everything. But actually, when I ran this on the rocks, I was really impressed with the suspension movement. When it was moving, the articulation actually looked really cool. So I'm looking forward to doing some more mods on this to try and get even more flex out of it and get some more movement. But this thing may have possibly converted me to actually liking leaf spring suspension, which says a lot because I'm not a fan of leaf springs at all. Yeah, I am really impressed with this thing. Like I said, only things I would say is I'm not fussed on the stock rubber mirrors, and the tyres on the K10 were better. And I'm not a massive fan of that big brick transmitter. But other than that, this thing is absolutely awesome. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, and let me know which one do you prefer, the red or the blue. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.